Hello friends, welcome to Blurred TV. Hanami. Spring has sprung. And in Japan, that means it is time again to contemplate mono no aware, the ephemeral and slightly melancholy nature of being alive. Apparently, this is best achieved through the age-old tradition of sitting on blue polytarps, passing around child-sized bottles of sake, by which I mean the size of a human child, not a size fit for one, and generally making as much of an ass of yourself as possible in a crowded public park. In a word, fantastic. Cherry blossoms, sakura, are charged with meaning. Their fragile and fleeting bloom has been compared to a woman's beauty, blossoming for a short period before withering into old age. The fighting men of Japan, soldiers, samurai, and gangsters, often use them as a symbol of a life that was short but magnificent. Hanami is a Japanese traditional custom of enjoying the transient beauty of flowers. Flowers are in this case almost always referring to those of the cherry or, less frequently, plum trees. From the end of March to early May, cherry trees bloom all over Japan and around the 1st of February on the island of Okinawa. The blossom forecast cherry blossom front is announced each year by the Japan Meteorological Agency and is watched carefully by those planning Hanami, as the blossoms only last a week or two. In modern-day Japan, Hanami mostly consists of having an outdoor party beneath the sakura during daytime or at night. In some contexts, the Sino-Japanese term kano is used instead, particularly for festival. Hanami at night is called Yuzakura, night sakura. In many places such as Ueno Park, temporary paper lanterns are hung for the purpose of Yuzakura. On the island of Okinawa, decorative electric lanterns are hung in the trees for evening enjoyment, such as on the trees ascending Mount Yei near Motubu town or at the Nakijin Castle. A more ancient form of Hanami also exists in Japan, which is enjoying the plum blossoms instead, which is narrowly referred to as umemi. This kind of Hanami is popular among older people because they are calmer than the sakura parties, which usually involve younger people and can sometimes be crowded and noisy. The practice of Hanami is many centuries old. The custom is said to have started during the Nara period, when it was umi blossoms that people admired in the beginning. But by the Heian period, sakura came to attract more attention and Hanami was synonymous with sakura. From then on, in both waka and haiku, flowers meant sakura. Hanami was first used as a term analogous to cherry blossom, viewing in the Heian-era novel The Tale of Genji. Although a wisteria viewing party was also described, the terms Hanami and flower party were subsequently used only in reference to cherry blossom viewing. Sakura was originally used to divine that year's harvest as well as announce the rice planting season. People believed in kami inside the trees and made offerings. Afterwards, they partook of the offering with sake. Emperor Saga of the Heian period adopted this practice and held flower viewing parties with sake and feasts underneath the blossoming boughs of sakura trees in the imperial court of Kyoto. Poems would be written praising the delicate flowers, which were seen as a metaphor for life itself, luminous and beautiful yet fleeting and ephemeral. This was said to be the origin of Hanami in Japan. The custom was originally limited to the elite of the imperial court, but soon spread to samurai society and by the Edo period to the common people as well. Tokugawa Yoshimune planted areas of the cherry blossom trees to encourage this. Under the sakura trees, people had lunch and drank sake in cheerful feasts. The teasing proverb dumplings rather than flowers hint at the real priorities of most cherry blossom viewers, meaning that people are more interested in the food and drinks accompanying in Hanami party than actually viewing the flowers themselves. Usually, people go in the parks to keep the best places to celebrate Hanami with friends, family, and company co-workers many hours before. In many places, such as Ueno Park, temporary paper lanterns are hung for night viewing the flowers. The blossom forecast or cherry blossom front is announced each year by the Japan Meteorological Agency. The first cherry blossoms happen in the subtropical southern islands of Okinawa, while on the northern island of Hokkaido, they bloom much later. In most large cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, the cherry blossom season normally takes place around the end of March and the beginning of April. The television and newspapers closely follow this cherry blossom front as it slowly moves from south to north. Japanese people continue the tradition of Hanami, gathering in great numbers wherever the flowering trees are found. Thousands of people fill the parks to hold feast under the flowering trees, and sometimes these parties go on until late at night. Hanami at night is called Yuzakura, which means night sakura. In many places such as Ueno Park, temporary paper lanterns are hung to have Yuzakura. Some special dishes are prepared and eaten at the occasion like dango and bento, and sake is commonly drunk as a part of the festivity. In 2020, traditional cherry blossom season events were cancelled and tourists did not come to Japan due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In 1912, Japan gave 3,000 sakura trees as a gift to the United States to celebrate the nation's friendship. These trees were planted in Washington, D.C., and another 3,800 trees were donated in 1965. These sakura trees continue to be a popular tourist attraction, and every year the National Cherry Blossom Festival takes place when they bloom in early spring. In Macon, Georgia, another cherry blossom festival called the International Cherry Blossom Festival is celebrated every spring. Macon is known as the cherry blossom capital of the world because 300,000 sakura trees grow there. Hanami is also celebrated in several European countries. For example, in Finland, people gather to celebrate Hanami in Helsinki at Roihuvuori. Local Japanese people and companies have donated 200 cherry trees which are also planted in Kirsikapustio. Those cherry trees usually bloom in midday. In Rome, in Italy, the Hanami is celebrated in the Park of the Year, where a lot of cherry trees were donated by Japan in 1959. In Stockholm, there is an annual festivity in Kungsträdgården Garden where a lot of people celebrate Hanami. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Stay safe.
If you like our video, so please press the like button and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get the latest update of our videos.